readying £40 million bid for Casemiro. Will Joao Neves be the replacement? News on Mason Greenwood, and also an update on the right back position. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this morning's live edition of Daily Red Devil. But before we get into that, please smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 200 likes. It really helps out the YouTube algorithms and all of that good stuff. So make sure you go and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Right. As always, I like to start off my shows with some positivity to bring you guys. And the story I have for you guys this morning is that Kobbie Mainoo has been nominated for the Young Player of the League, of the Premier League. So really, really happy for him. Really, really well deserved, I think. I think he's been one of our probably only real shining lights this season, being completely honest. Some people mentioned Diogo Dalot. I don't know personally. I don't think Dallow's been that great. I think he's been all right. Like, it just shows how low we are as a club that we're kind of celebrating Diogo Dalot. Like, has he really been good this season for somebody who's what? Is he 23, 24? Might even be older than that now. I mean, he's 25, Dalot. Like, he's in his mid-20s. He's not like he's an 18-year-old who's just broke through into the first team. You'd expect Diogo Dalot to be doing what he's doing at this age, you know? Whereas Kobbie Mainoo, 18 years of age, bossing the midfield against Liverpool. Like, he's had so many good performances this season. Some people have said he's dipped off a little bit, but what do you expect? He's 18 years of age. He's playing, I think, 30 games in the Premier League this season in his debut year. Like, he's had an incredible season. The other nominees, just in case people are interested, are Foden, Haaland, Isak, Palmer, Saka, Saliba, and Udogie. So he's up against some really, really difficult competition. He's not going to win it, realistically. The chance of him winning it are probably next to nothing. It will probably be Palmer or Foden, I imagine. But yeah, still to be nominated, still to have a breakthrough season and to be a first teamer is an absolutely incredible achievement. So fair play to Kobbie Mainoo. Really excited to see, you know, the player he becomes over the next 10 or so years. So really, really happy about that. But yeah, let's move on to some more transfer related topics this morning. And let's start the show off by talking about Casemiro. And the headline this morning is that apparently Al Nassr are readying a €40 million bid to sign Manchester United's Casemiro this summer. €40 million. What did we pay for him? Let's have a quick look. I mean, it was a lot more than that, wasn't it? Hell of a lot more than that. We paid Real Madrid €70 million for Casemiro. So €40 million back for him. I mean, it's still not great, is it? Considering he's only been here for 2 years. But realistically, nobody else is going to offer us more than Saudi clubs. You know, you're not going to see another Premier League team coming in for Casemiro. Another Spanish team won't come in for Casemiro. So our only real option with Casemiro is either selling him to the Saudi League or to the MLS. I think somewhere between 40 and 50 million euros, in all honesty, would probably be fair. Maybe closer to 50. I think we need to kind of base it on the Fabinho transfer. Obviously, Fabinho moving from Liverpool to the Saudi League last summer to Al Ittihad. They got €46 million. So, yeah, I think somewhere around that kind of fee would be fair for Casemiro. Say whatever Liverpool got for Fabinho, which was €46 million, we should be asking for something around that same kind of price point, I think. Obviously, Casemiro's on 350k a week. So it's really important that, you know, we move him on, we clear those wages, and then we go and reinvest that money in other areas. But let me know in the comment section, how much do you think Casemiro is worth in the current market? I know he's had a terrible season, so I think most people are going to be like, I'll take €40 million, to be honest, because he has been poor this season. I don't remember how good Fabinho was before he went to Saudi, like in the season before. I can't really remember. But I guess the only thing, you know, the only counter argument there is Fabinho is 2 years younger than Casemiro. So maybe €40 million is a fair price. I'll be honest with you guys. I would take pretty much anything at this point. Like, I think the biggest thing for me is that Casemiro isn't part of our future plans. He's on crazy wages. He's clearly not good enough to play in the Premier League anymore. I think he could go to Saudi. I think he could probably play there for another 4 or 5 years comfortably. He's still obviously in the Brazilian national team, isn't he? I think he's the captain, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure he's the captain for Brazil still, which is maybe a bit surprising. Is he? I might have made that up. I thought he was the captain for Brazil. Maybe I'm wrong. Or was it Thiago Silva? Who is the captain Everyone smash a like on the video, by the way, if you haven't already. Let's try and see 200 likes on today's show. Who is the captain of the Brazil team? Yes, Casemiro. Casemiro is still the captain of the Brazil national team, so I don't know. I don't know if that really makes a difference. I mean, international football is completely different, though, isn't it? You know, like most of the time they're playing in friendlies against much lesser teams, so I'm sure Casemiro can still play at that level. But to play week in, week out in the Premier League, when even teams like Luton, Bournemouth are like a very high quality, is I think a little bit of a push for him. The same with Eriksen, you know. I'm sure he can continue playing for the Danish national team, but to ask Eriksen to be playing 90 minutes a week against, you know, young teams who are pressing against you, like he just can't do it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Casemiro. How much do you think is a fair price for him? I would say, yeah, 40 to 50 million is probably realistic. And I would take that at that point, because obviously the amount of wages we'll save, he's on £350,000 a week, which is about 20 million a season. So, you know, if we got 40 million euros and then you add in the wages we'd save, it's a lot of money. So yeah, I would do that one personally. So let's move on to who looks like the number one target to replace him. So this is coming out from a couple of different journalists in Portugal this morning, some quite reliable journalists. And the headline is this morning is that Manchester United have identified Benfica's Joao Neves as their priority midfield target this season. It says, with Casemiro set to leave the club, as of now, United have not made an official offer, but they will do soon. So it looks like Manchester United are going to push forward with Joao Neves. Apparently, Benfica are keen to keep him for a couple more years, but we know what Benfica are like. If the money is offered, they will sell him. They sold Joao Felix. They sold, obviously, Darwin Núñez. They sold Ruben Dias. Like, Benfica are a selling club, effectively. And they've done very, very well. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez as well. Like, they've done very, very well over the last kind of 10 years at selling players. Obviously, we bought Victor Lindelof from Benfica, didn't we? So we do have a good relationship with Benfica. Obviously, Alvaro Fernandez is on loan at Benfica at the moment. Apparently, Benfica want to make that deal permanent. So there is already conversations going on between the two clubs, because obviously they have one of our players on loan. Alvaro Fernandez has done quite well, I believe, for Benfica, and it looks like they want to keep him. But if the money's paid, Benfica will sell. He's got a release clause, which I hope Manchester United don't have to go and pay, because I think his release clause is a hell of a lot of money. Usually Benfica are pretty tough to deal with, but maybe because we've got Alvaro Fernandez and they want him, maybe we can work some sort of deal out. The release clause is apparently around £100 million. It's a lot of money, isn't it, for somebody who's still relatively unproven. I know he's done great things so far in the Portuguese league. I know he's in the first team for the Portuguese national team as well. So he clearly is a quality player, but we've seen Enzo Fernandez move to Chelsea for 120 million euros and kind of struggle. We've seen Joao Felix move to Atletico Madrid, loaned out to Barcelona, loaned out to Chelsea. They paid 127 million euros for him and he's struggled. Darwin Núñez, I think he has been good. So I'm not going to say he struggled. I think he has been quite good. I know he misses some sitters sometimes, but for 85 million euros, I think Darwin Núñez was a reasonable fee. I'm not saying it was a good fee, but it was reasonable. And then you look down the list more, you know, Ruben Dias, one of the best centre-backs in the world, they got 70 million for him. I think that's a fair price. But we'll wait and see what happens with this one. Obviously, Manchester United are very keen. He's the number one target. He fits the profile. He's the correct age. And he is somebody I would like to see. I would just hope that because we already have some sort of an existing relationship with Benfica, you know, they have one of our players on loan who they want to sign, Alvaro Fernandez, maybe we can get a bit shaved off the price. Maybe they want to take Victor Lindelof back. You know, maybe there's some other players in our squad that that Benfica are interested in. So I'll keep you updated on that one. As always, let me know in the comment section. £100 million for Joao Neves, sorry. Let me know. Are you up for it? Are you not? Let me know what your thoughts are. Moving on to some outgoings really, really quickly. I've got a bit of an update for you on Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. And the headline this morning is that apparently Manchester United will sell at least one of Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. I think that's the correct decision. And the question I have for you is, if you had to pick between selling Lindelof and Maguire, you can only pick one, who would you sell? Me personally, I would probably sell Lindelof. I think he's probably less usable. I think Maguire, I know he has his limitations, but he is good aerially. He's good presence in the box. I think he's better on the ball than Lindelof. And I don't think Lindelof's actually that much quicker than Maguire. Like maybe a little bit, but it's not like, Maguire's really slow and Victor Lindelof is rapid. I think they're both kind of like similar enough. But for me, Lindelof's just too weak for the Premier League. He's not physical enough. He's not strong enough. He gets kind of pushed around too much. And I think the Maguire is probably a better kind of fourth or fifth choice centre-back in the Premier League than Victor Lindelof is. So if I have to pick between the two of them, I'm going Victor Lindelof. I think you could still get some money for him. Obviously, he is the captain of the Swedish national team, 29 years of age. I think he could still go and do a job at somebody like Benfica or, maybe in the Italian league. I think he would be perfectly fine. But he definitely is somebody that we should be looking to move on. And I think, we should be able to get about 15, 20 million euros for Victor Lindelof. He's been here for 7 years. I think his contract expires next year. Yes, it does. His contract's up next year. So we really need to look at moving him on, really. Let's have a look who else we have. So, yeah, I wanted to go through contracts that are expiring this year, actually, really, really quickly with you guys. So there's 5 players whose contracts are expiring. You've got Tom Heaton, Johnny Evans, Martial, Sofian Amrabat, and Rafael Varane. Okay, so that's those. But then if you look to next year, there's a lot of players as well. You've got Christian Eriksen, you've got Lindelof, you've got Amad Diallo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, and Scott McTominay. Manchester United need to make some decisions. They really, really do. Now, some people would argue that we should be looking to sell Lindelof and Maguire this summer because if they've only got 1 year left of their contract, if we don't sell them now, they'll leave for free next year, which will happen. The same with Amad Diallo. Like, what's the plan with Amad Diallo? Is he going to be part of the team? Is he just going to play 5 minutes here and there? If that is the case, then you should probably look to sell him or, give him a new contract and loan him out maybe. But Manchester United have some big decisions to make because there is quite a few players who are out of contract in the next kind of 12 or so months. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, we'll have to, obviously I'll keep you updated on that as and when we get more news. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this morning. A couple of people are saying we should sell both of them. Yeah. What else have we got? Somebody's saying that 100 million is too much money to spend on Joao Neves. Stephanie is saying Casemiro should be 40 million minimum. I agree. I think 40 million is probably fair for Casemiro, given, everything considered. Somebody saying Nunes, Ramos and Fernandes, have they really performed at their respective clubs? So buying Neves for 100 million is a no for me. I assume you mean Darwin Nunez, Gonzalo Ramos and Enzo Fernandez. I'll be honest with you. I think Darwin Nunez gets a lot of criticism. I think he has been okay. I know he misses some bad chances, but I think he's been quite decent for Liverpool. I'm not saying he's world class at this point. He's still, growing. He's still learning the game. But, Darwin Nunez this season has got 18 goals and 13 assists. What's that? 31 goals and assists in this season alone, right? You compare that with Rasmus Højlund, who I know is in his first year and all the rest of it, but they were about the same type of money, weren't they? Rasmus Højlund and Darwin Nunez, around the kind of £70 million mark. Rasmus Højlund's got 14 goals and 2 assists, which I think is actually quite good for his first season. I'm actually quite happy with that. I think 14 goals is pretty decent for Højlund's first season. I said at the beginning of the year, I'm expecting 15 goals across all competitions. That would be my kind of first season benchmark. And Rasmus Højlund has hit that. But I don't know. I don't think it's completely fair to say that Darwin Nunez has been a flop because I don't think he has. Personally, I think he's, he has had some bad misses, but I think overall, I think he's been quite decent, I'll say, but not world class, not on the level of like a Haaland or someone like that. Let's have a look. Stephanie says we should send Lindelof back to Benfica. Yeah, I agree with you. Stephanie says, does Joao Neves have a good availability record and regardless of the fee, more interested what wages we will pay him? As far as I'm aware, yeah, Joao Neves' injury record is nothing to be concerned about. Like, There's obviously question marks about Elise's injury record. I'm just having a look now. Yeah, I mean, Joao Neves hasn't missed a game yet in his Benfica career through injury, not one. Remember, he's only 19 and he's only kind of been playing for 2 seasons. But yeah, he hasn't missed any games yet. Wages-wise, again, that's a really, really good question to ask because, you know, most players who come to Manchester United, we end up tripling their wages. Joao Neves is only earning €20,000 a week at the moment, which is not very much, really, in the grand scheme of things. So, you know, if Manchester United were to sign him, I'm sure his wage would probably go up by like 5 times. He'd probably be on like 100 grand a week, you know, which isn't really that much in the grand scheme of things, is it? When you think that we pay Anthony 200 grand a week, I think we pay Casemiro and Varane like 350k a week. It just shows how much of a mess our wages are. And what I do like in recent years is obviously Garnacho got a new contract. I think he's on about 60 grand a week. Højlund, when he came in, is only on about 60 grand a week. And we are starting to learn a little bit better that signing these big name players and giving them 300, 400 grand a week is not the way forward. It's not sustainable. It's not how you comply with the new financial fair play rules, because obviously they factor in the wages, they factor in transfer fees, agent fees. And, you know, giving somebody like Casemiro 350k a week on a 5-year deal is ridiculous. It's absolutely stupid. But hopefully we live and learn from that. And hopefully, you know, this is the end of the players coming just purely for money. Because I think that's one of the biggest things that needs to change. But keeping on the topic of incomings, there's a lot of journalists this morning saying that apparently Man United are considering paying Bremer's £51 million release clause. Obviously plays his football over in Serie A for Juventus. £51 million. I'll be honest with you, I think that's too much money. 27 years of age. I don't think he's worth £51 million to me personally. I would rather go and get Jean-Claude Todibo for, I think, around 40. I would probably even rather save that money and maybe put it towards like an Antonio Silva or a Jared Brathwaite. He's 27 years of age. He's only just got into the Brazilian national team. He's only played 4 times for Brazil. I don't know. For me, it's a no, but let me know what you guys think. Bremer, £51 million. He is definitely a target. You know, there's 2 or 3 different people saying that Man United are looking at him, but I don't think we'll go for Bremer personally. I think he feels more like a Glazer signing. He feels like someone who's going to come in and demand, you know, crazy wages. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I'm interested to see what you think. For me, Bremer is a no, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Moving over to the right back position, Fabrizio Romano is this morning saying that apparently Manchester United are kind of deciding at the moment whether they want to invest in a new right back this summer. And apparently Denzel Dumfries is somebody that Man United are interested in. And it says that Dumfries could leave Inter as Man United will decide on a new right back soon. Denzel Dumfries, 28 years of age. I mean, if Erik ten Hag's going to still be the manager, then I could see why Denzel Dumfries would come. You know, that would make sense. Only got 1 year left of his contract. Probably get him for about £20 million. Like, I don't know. Is selling Aaron Wan-Bissaka and replacing him from Dumfries an improvement? I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch Inter Milan very often. I know Dumfries has been around for a long time. He's never really, like, massively impressed me, being honest. Whereas someone like Frimpong, I can see why there's excitement around him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit unsure about Denzel Dumfries, to be honest. But he is somebody we're linked to. He's somebody that Erik ten Hag obviously likes, obviously being Dutch. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about Denzel Dumfries, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really watch the Serie A that's this season. He has been a first team player for Inter Milan this season. It's not like he's like not wanted by the club. It's just that he doesn't want to sign a new contract. Inter Milan obviously won the Serie A already this season. They've had a really, really good season. So he clearly is a good player. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Denzel Dumfries to Manchester United. I'm not entirely sure, personally. I'm not going to sit here and kind of pretend that I watch Serie A every single game or that Denzel Dumfries is world class and all the rest of it. Dan Watson says, I don't think Dumfries will happen. It feels like another Ten Hag signing. Please move away from these types of signings. I agree with you there, mate. I think, you know, if Sir Dave Brailsford Dan Ashworth think that Denzel Dumfries is the best right back available, then great, go and get him. But for me, Denzel Dumfries just feels like an easy, he's Dutch, Erik ten Hag's Dutch, bring him in type signing. I don't think he's the best in class for me personally, but let me know what you guys think about that. Denzel Dumfries to Manchester United. Final story before I head off for the rest of my day is that apparently Manchester United have expressed an interest in Hansi Flick as the new manager. I'm going to be honest, guys, it doesn't excite me, really. I just think at the moment we're clutching on straws. We are, I don't want to say shopping in the bargain aisle because that's pretty disrespectful, but do we really want Hansi Flick? He went to Bayern Munich. He left within, I think, about 6 months. He was at the German team. He was fired by the German team, and now Nagelsmann's taken over from him. It doesn't excite me. I would personally, if we're looking at people like Hansi Flick, I would rather just keep Erik ten Hag for one more season, hope that he turns things around and that we do better next year. If it doesn't happen, then you go and get a new manager in like January or next season, because there are going to be more people available then. Obviously, Carlo Ancelotti's contract expires at Real Madrid next season. Maybe there's a world where we try and get him. I just think for me, Hansi Flick, I know he's won the Champions League like many, many years ago. I know he won the World Cup, but that was like literally over 10 years ago. It just doesn't excite me at all, to be honest. And I would rather keep Erik ten Hag than go for Hansi Flick. I think it's a pretty uninspiring signing. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Please make sure to smash a like before you go. Let's try and see 200 likes on today's show. Do subscribe as well. Doesn't cost you any money. Why would you not do it? Really helps the channel. I'll be back later on today. Have a lovely day, everybody. This has been Daily Red Devil, and I'll speak to you all a bit later.